Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the show where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. I got a real treat for you guys today. I got Joe Ornelas in the house today. He reigns from West Texas, and he has been in real estate for more years than probably some of you have been alive. He's been licensed as a real estate agent since 1987. Collective total, he's been doing real estate and general contracting now for over 35 years, and we're going to go all over talking about some real estate today. But just before we get started, just remember at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses, which allows them to build the businesses they've always wanted, to allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. With that being said, Joe, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Likewise, glad you're here. So give us a little background on you, man. How'd you get started in this crazy game, and how'd you get to where you're at now?
Well, I read motivational books, and back then was cassette tapes. But I got interested in making money, and my idea is to work less and make more instead of just working for somebody else. I wanted to invest on my own and do the best I can. But correct you, I have not been a real estate agent since '87. I only had it for 3 months because I couldn't do it for, I couldn't support my family in 3 months in real estate. But I learned enough to learn how to invest.
Yeah.
Buy and sell.
So do you still have your license then? I guess maybe I missed that in our pre-show conversation.
No, I do not have my license. I just have the experience.
Oh, I gotcha.
But I did take the complete course. I learned law, real estate marketing, and in some case investing. So I'm familiar with that. And I think I'm real good at selling, but my own stuff, I wasn't good at selling other people's stuff, but I can sell my own because I determine the terms, whereas to try and sell somebody else's terms.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think and this is something some real estate agents might have a problem with me for, but, I don't think that if you have a real estate license that you're in real estate. You're actually just selling other people's real estate.
Correct.
You're not really in real estate, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So I like your point there that you make. So tell us what happened post that then. You had 3 months, you went back to working construction, you're now a general contractor, do a lot of the work on your own houses. Like what's gotten you to where you're at today? What has been the last 2 decades worth of focus for you?
Persistence and not letting anything that turn me away from what I want to do. I don't let obstacles get in my way. I just go around them or over them because once I fix my sight on something, I'll just go get it and the best I can. I tell people, well, get out of the way if you're not going to lead, and I'll do it. But for my own buying process, I said I look for any for sale by owners, call them up,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And if there's any chance with the money I have in pocket, I can go ahead and make an offer and buy it. And then as soon as that home's livable, put a for sale sign and buyers come right away.
So do you generally use all your own money for the deals that you do?
Yes. Just that's
Really?
my experience. Yeah.
No
Which
kidding.
is not very much because you can buy a home for several $1,000s. I mean, actually buy it owner finance. And
Right.
you have a deed, but then you can turn around and sell it right away to somebody else, get a down payment, give the payments to whatever they can afford, take that money and go into the next spot. And to me, I feel like they're paying for that home I just bought. So if they, decide to move on, I'll have that property back and continue.
That's interesting. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but you essentially are doing the seller financing on how you buy the property and then turning around and doing the same thing with an end buyer.
Correct.
No kidding. I haven't heard of anybody that's actually doing that very much. That's really interesting.
Well, like I said, yeah, you don't hear about that very much because sometimes you hear about all this legalities of it, but in reality, it's called a wraparound note. They sell it to me. They probably owe it to somebody else. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm selling it to them. They pay me. I pay what I bought it from. And it's totally legal. I mean, and to me, I haven't had any issues with because I continue to make that payment. And up to now, like I said, in 30 years, I have not lost one that left me where I lost the property because they left.
Right.
So I never lose. If they leave, okay, great. I'll get to do it again.
Right. And make even more, which is kind of like a secret hack within the space, right? Like, I've got a perfect example of that. I actually just was putting a sub 2 deal together with a friend of mine who they needed to pull X amount of cash out of the property because they had a contingency offer on another property where they were moving out of state. And I told him, I'm like, look, you guys have the perfect house to do a sub 2 deal on. So let me go ahead and just figure out how to get your guys' profits in it. We take the house over, and worst case scenario, we don't make any of the payments and you get the property back. And then you're right back at square one with the payout for the equity that you were after from a retail sale anyways,
Yes.
So it makes a ton of sense, I think, for people that are in a prime position, but it's also a really protective channel, I think, for the investor as well.
Yeah. Like I said, you got to look at, to me, I looked at the 80-20 rule. 20 people, let's say only 20% of buyers can go to a bank or a finance company. So we got 80% of people that we can sell to. And I know back then it was just you write a name down, but then it seemed like they wanted you to kind of make sure they were able to do it. You couldn't sell it to a child, put the name of the child. You needed to put it to somebody who had some responsibility. That's the one thing that I've learned, but it works out. No matter.
So now, how many of these deals do you typically shoot to go after in a year? Are you still like actively 100% working full time? I know with that long of a career, is it time to take it easy, or what gets you going in the mornings?
I'm always open for any opportunity. I mean, sometimes like the last 2 properties I bought, they put it on Facebook, home for sale, which you give $2,000 down.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And I answered right away. I went right over and said, "Yeah, I'll take it." And that's how I bought this property.
Yeah.
Same time, the guy said, "Hey, the guy we bought a house has another property for sale." So right there, I bought 2 properties within a week. And then the next one, what I did is immediately put it for sale. And sure enough, within a few days, there was a buyer. I have the down payment, and so they're paying for that property. I'm still working on my first one, but it's a multi-unit, so I'm hoping to get it for sale right away.
Sure. Now, so you say you're in West Texas, but that's quite a large place. So, like, what exactly is the market you play in primarily? Is it just where you're centrally located, or?
Well, I've done far West Texas near El Paso. It's called Van Horn, Texas. And then about 45 miles east of where San Angelo, that's where I live. I've had 2 properties there, but I'm open to any opportunities. And if I travel and I see a house for sale, I said that could be one of mine, because I think houses, as long as they're livable, you can get somebody to buy it. I don't like to rent because that's a big mess. But anyway, I'd rather sell it to somebody than rent it.
Why is that?
Well, because they're fixing it, and I don't have to come around and fix stuff. They're the ones doing it. And they'll improve the property for me in case they move on. So, and renters won't improve the property. They won't even paint it that I've seen. So, but I'm sure there's, renters that are very faithful in paying and taking care of. But like I said, my interest is just buy a property, put it for sale, get the down payment, and move on.
Yeah, 100%. So what's your turnaround time typically look like?
A few days.
Really?
Because as soon as I'll take possession of the property, I'll go put it for sale sign. I mean, in this type of situations, closing is right away because we don't really involve title companies. But we still get a note and deed of trust to attorney. And there's some attorneys they'll fix them within a couple of days, and so we close immediately.
Really?
And so that's what makes it easy for me. One time I sold my own home, and I sold it within a few days, but then it took them 3 months before we closed, and that was a very stressful time. So I thought, I don't want to go this route. It's uncertain. 3 months of waiting. When are we closing? When are we closing? But that's why, to me, I make it easy for a customer. Somebody comes up, how much you want? And I tell them, and say, well, I want this amount of down payment. And they say, well, we don't have it. I said, well, but they tell me, hey, can I pay you $500 a week for the next month or so till we get the down payment? And I said, sure. And then we'll start the loan at that time. And I sold about 4 properties that way by helping the people. And I sold one to my sister. She says, I don't have $5,000 down, but I'll pay you $500 a month until I get to $5,000. And then we'll start the loan. And that has worked out great. She's 4 months from finished paying off that property.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very
That's
confident in doing that.
So now, how do you generally find your buyers? I mean, I'm sure eventually you're going to run out of sisters eventually.
Well, no, I've only sold it to one relative. Actually, 2. All right, I'll tell you this example. Because, well, word of mouth, well, simple for sale sign by owner. People that are looking for rent right away to see for sale by owner. I think for sale by owner makes them think that they're going to get easy terms, but actually
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
They're not, if they qualify to a bank, the interest will be lower, whereas to an owner finance, the interest is a lot higher. That's where they pay for not having good credit. But my sister only came in because I put it up for sale, and I told them this is what I want, and my sister begged me, sell it to me. I said, okay, you pay what I want, and then you can have it. But
No kidding.
yeah, I mean, if I know one house that I want 45,000, 5,000 down, $500 a month, 10 years. And it took less than a day. I had people, yeah, we'll take it. And this home was not even livable at the time, but they saw an opportunity and I gave it to them.
So how do you typically find these people? They just come out of the woodwork? Do you have like a reputation for being the real estate problem solver in your area, or how are you able to turn around so fast?
Well, because there's, like I said, when I was in real estate, I showed houses all the time, but nobody could buy. So there's a lot of people out there looking to buy a house, but they can't because of their credit. And that's where I think where banks are making a big mistake, that they don't finance people that are willing to buy and pay more, but they're willing to pay, say, an investor like me and many others, they're willing to pay up to 10% if they can get an opportunity to buy that property, which that's where it comes that 80-20 rule. 80% of people are willing to pay more interest. 20% can only are the ones that qualify through a bank or finance company. So that's how I do it. But sure. There are plenty of people wanting to buy, but they can't. So they're looking for an investor that's got property available.
Because of credit challenges or income or things along those lines, that like somebody that's manually, because I know like banks can manually underwrite a deal, right? Like technically speaking, they could do manual underwriting with somebody that has a zero credit score, things like that. It's just most people don't realize that's a case, and so you're kind of cutting out a long and lengthy process by creating a very simple solution for people that might have the means and just literally can't do it because of the profile.
Well, because how do you explain somebody paying $1,500 a month for rent, but a bank will let them make a loan to them and pay $800 a month? The people say, we can pay $1,500 and you won't let me have a loan. It's only $800 a month.
Right.
See, how does that make any sense? So
to
me, that leaves us investors a big opportunity to jump right in and give them something they're comfortable with. So to me, it's very simple, but I wish I could have the ability to find I found it difficult because people that can afford go through a finance company, they're real picky. They want this and they want that, and you have to take a certain place. But people that can't go through a bank, they'll take whatever the best they can get, and they'll take it right away. So, like I said, if I had sold every person to every person when I had my real estate license, I would still be doing it. But 80% could not qualify. So I think, well, I'm going to work in the 80% and that don't qualify, and I'll sell it to them.
Right. Because then you create almost a blue ocean for yourself instead of the red ocean of lenders and trying to get people approved and everything else. You're swimming in blue water.
Right. Anybody comes along that has down payment, has a job, and wants it, it's your house. When you're going to move in. And, well, like I said, I think everybody should be given an opportunity to buy because I've heard people, some people may file for bankruptcy. Well, how many corporations file for bankruptcy? Whereas
Mm.
we might say this individual filed for bankruptcy. And I think, well, the big guys file bankruptcy. Why should we deny this person if he has some issues in the past? But if they want a house, I'm willing to help them out. Here's your home. Here's your opportunity. Do the best you can.
Mm.
And I'm a people person. They tell me I only have this, and I said, well, whatever you want, we can make it work. I don't like to compare it to car sales, but uh, I'm willing to give anybody a chance to own a home. I mean,
Mm.
and it's like anything. I mean, you buy a home, and if you can't afford it, well, somebody else will come along. You buy a car, if you can't afford it, they'll come get it. So,
Right. Now, you bring
so
up a good point, though. Like, what happens when somebody no longer starts making the payments? Obviously, you get the house back, but what happens when that's the case and they're still in it?
well, to me, I haven't had that experience. I think it's more difficult if they rent to get them out than
Mm.
if we have to foreclose on it. But like I said, I'm prepared, and I know that can happen. I believe that I'm not surprised of anything, but I mean it's not that hard if you're already prepared for it. These people are
Mm.
not paying because remember, if I'm financing them, I have to make the payments to where I bought it from. So I have to step in and help them out. But most of the time, the buyers, if they can afford it, they'll move on. I won't.
Mm.
Whereas a renter, some know all the rules, all the tricks, what they can do. So I find it more difficult if you had a renter and they stayed. Whereas a buyer, well, I can't keep it and just move on, let him have it back.
Right.
That's my philosophy, if you can say that.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, what would you do different and what would you do the same if you could go back to the beginning and restart all over again?
Well, what I would want to buy is more houses of my own, have the ability
Mm.
to buy more. When I say buy, don't necessarily pay cash for them, but be able to take possession of them, which in most cases, all you have to do is sign the note and deed of trust, and it's yours. But you still have a big old loan on it. So if I could buy multiple, uh, only bought one house through a bank, and that was because somebody had run off on the bank and said, "You want it?" I said, "Yeah, I want it." But as soon as I got it, I turned around and sold it. So had I had more said funding to buy, that's what I would do, buy more. Um, because I think real estate agents, and you have some regulations you got to go by. You can't do certain things. But to me, if the family wants it, they have it.
You bet. So, and what would you do the same?
Well, buy more houses and offer offer the person that can't get it, through banks. Banks have the money; they should lend it out, but they have certain rules,
Mm.
which I don't have rules. I said, if you want it, you got down payment, or we'll work with it. You can pay so much, and if it works out for me, then they got it.
Sure. So, with everything you're doing right now, what's next for you? What's the big future plans for you?
I'm looking at multi-family homes. I would like to be able to get an apartment complex and buy apartments. I mean, apartment complexes, and I'm thinking also of building my own subdivision
Mm.
in a certain area. I had purchased 10 acres one time and I started subdividing. I mean, I had all the plans, and yet the engineering people came in and said, "Oh, we need $200,000 to fix this." And I said, "Well, sorry, guys." So I wound up selling that in 4 parts, divided 10 acres in 4 parts, and I got 4 times more than what I bought it for.
Mm.
So to me, since I'm in construction, I would like to buy big property, a large property, and then build a subdivision and just, um, I say, I don't actually do the work. I show people how to do it, and then I'll step back.
Right.
So, and I'm a multitasker. I can have people over here, there, and I'm just looking for an opportunity. It's practically what I'm doing is maybe like a vulture, see where there's an opportunity and take it.
100%.
And I'm not afraid of taking risks. I mean, I'm not concerned. Well, what if? I said, I don't worry about ifs. I'll worry about it when I get there, and then we'll figure it out.
What's been the best deal you've ever done?
Well, when they practically gave it to me, they said, Joe, just take over it, and we'll pay closing costs. And I said, great, how did this happen? But that was the best thing I got, because as soon as I got it, I turned around and put it for sale. The seller actually said, here's a property. You can take 2 months to make your first payment. We'll pay the closing costs and everything. So there you landed in your laps. All I had to do was turn around, put it for sale, and get a down payment and move on.
Now, why'd it go like that? Or they just that desperate to get out of it?
Well, it needed a lot of work, so they didn't want to mess with it. And see, they had a renter there, and they couldn't get him out. Finally, they called me to go give them an estimate on repairs, and then they say, well, why don't you buy it? I say, well, how much and what are the terms? They say, well, you don't have to pay nothing, just we'll give you a note and deed of trust, and it's yours. I said, well, let's do it. And that's how that started. I mean,
how'd you get the renter out?
Well, he was already in process of getting out, and wind up not so comfortable situation. But he was already in his way out, and he just had a lot of stuff behind. But I gave him as much time as he needed, and I didn't make any threats or anything, just because I knew he was on his way out. He didn't stick around. Of course, he threatened me, but then, that didn't last very long. He knew he was out, and I just threw what I had, cleaned it up, put it up for sale. Family came over. We like it, and then I told them how much I wanted down. That's very simple. And then a wraparound note. I just go around the one that sold it to me, and they know it. They were investors too. So I think one of the best places to find houses, go to investors that have plenty of houses for sale, and then they might have a property that they want to get rid of it, and they'll make it very easy for a buyer to get it. And my other part was selling my note, because usually what I buy it for, I'll turn around and increase the price, increase the interest rate, make the contract, and then I go to a note buyer and say, look, I have this contract, 10 years, $800 a month, this is the interest rate. And of course, there's a discount, but they'll pay me that money up front. They'll wait for the buyer to pay them that 10 years, while I have to take the money now and go on to my next property. And but some investors are very wise. They said, okay, I don't want to buy the whole note. I'll just buy 4 years or 8 years of that note. And that leaves me the 2 years or 4 years at the end of it. So I'm always have that in mind, that so many years from now, they're going to start paying me back, and I can do the same thing again. So to me, it's been, I've been receiving payments from selling notes for about 6 years now. But I sit back, they start sending me the payments, and well, that's pretty nice. What's that called? Residual income that comes in every month, that property. So, but like I said, I I don't just want just one thing. I concentrate on as many as I can.
Mm.
So, but I really enjoy helping out people that otherwise they can't have a home.
Right.
Because banks won't lend it to them, finance company won't. They'll use some excuse, and most people, through their income, their credit history, whatever, it seems there's so many obstacles to owning a home. But I make it so simple. As long as they want it, they get it.
You bet. Well, Joe, thanks for joining us today. If anyone wants to learn more about you or what you're working on, where should they go for that?
Well, okay. That'll be great. Let me know.
Well, where should they go to learn more about you? Like, do you have like a LinkedIn or an Instagram, a Facebook, anything like that?
LinkedIn I was part of that, but I have not Facebook. Like I said, when I have to have a property available for sale, then I'll post it on Facebook or Marketplace or, even local news outlet. But basically, the last several properties I've sold have been through word of mouth and then through Facebook. And of course, the regular sign up front for sale. That seems to work pretty cool.
There you go. Well, if you want to connect with Joe, send him a letter because he's old school.
Yeah, send me Facebook. Find me on Facebook and say, I have this property. You want it? And I'll probably say, yeah. Where is it?
There you go. I love it. Well, awesome. Well, hey, thanks for hopping on, Joe. And everyone,
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
All right. Thanks for having me. Have a good
You
day.
bet.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.